The video you're about to watch may just be one of the most important videos you'll watch this year. And the reason why is the markets are lining up for a once in 18 to 20 year trade opportunity. This is not something that comes around every single day. So make sure that you stay tuned until the very end of the video as I explain exactly what I see happening within the markets. 80 to 90% of traders, investors, and economists have completely missed the boat on the data and what's about to take place right now. If you want to participate and take advantage of the biggest trade of this decade, then make sure you use the link in the description below and join Whale School. Whale School is everything that I know within the cryptocurrency markets. It's my blood, sweat, and tears all combined into a completely free trading course which teaches everyday people just like you how to master cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency trading. So in order to take advantage of this once in a lifetime trade opportunity, make sure that you use the link in the description below. 80% of the Whale School spots have already been completely taken, which means that time is running out to join. We begin on Wednesday, so get prepared, join as soon as you possibly can once those last 20% are taken. Unfortunately, we won't be able to allow anyone else into Whale School. Use the link in the description below, it's entirely free, and let's get into the video. When it comes to markets, there's absolutely nothing new under the sun. The psychological phases tend to follow almost exactly the same. Now, history never repeats one for one, but it definitely rhymes. And when you have a look at this model over here, this is ultimately called the 18.6 year real estate and economic cycle. And it's very, very important to understand where we're at within the cycle right now, because this will depict how you play the markets over the next 18 to 24 months, how much money you make, and more importantly, how much of that money you keep. And I firmly believe that this may be one of your final opportunities within this decade to make life-changing money within crypto. And I'm gonna break it all down for you, showing you exactly how to do it and why this part of the cycle is so important. It's lining up to be one magnificent behemoth trade in the sense that you have the 18.6 year cycle reaching near its apex over the coming months to year. And consequently, that lines up perfectly with the way that Bitcoin's 4-year cycle trades as well. So let's have a look at this chart. Now, the way these market cycles typically work is that you start off with a slow and steady grind, which goes on for a number of years and ultimately eventually leads to a little bit of a pullback. Many people think that that is the start of the recession, but it's only the mid-cycle slowdown phase. You then tend to pick up once again, creating almost a double top within the real estate market, and then soon after you roll over, going into the lower phase. Now, to give you an idea of where we are within this market phase, where my cursor is currently situated at the second trough that we've seen is essentially the pandemic year 2020. That was in March. Prices then quickly started to regain momentum and grind towards the upside. Where are we currently situated within the cycle? Well, we're just before that phase where things are about to go absolutely parabolic. And as mentioned, 80 to 90% of traders, investors, and professional economists have absolutely no idea what's about to come next. Now, the next phase leads into a parabolic move towards the upside, also known as the winner's curse, and that is 2 years whereby the markets go completely vertical towards the upside. If you look at charts like Nvidia, this would be one such example of a complete parabola chart. Now, according to the 18.6 year cycle, you can see that it's anticipated that the peak of that cycle will occur somewhere between 2025 and 2026. It's really important that following that 2025 to 26 peak, you manage to get out of the markets completely and hedge within the right markets, because the next collapse that comes after that peak is going to be very, very significant. Now, you may be wondering, well, why should you listen to me? Why should you take my word for it? I'm just a guy on YouTube babbling on. Well, if you have a look over here, I did put out a tweet already on the 25th of November when Bitcoin was trading at $16,593. And I said, this is a thread on why I, a renowned bear, why was I a renowned bear? Because I'd been calling the market cycle top from way back and ultimately calling for low prices over the course of that entire year. I am now a renowned bear, believe that we are approaching maximum opportunity and how I plan on buying at or near the very bottom, all whilst practicing very solid risk management. Remember, these are principles that I teach within Whale School. Sign up now whilst you still can, while there are still spots available. Not only that, but I followed that up with an actual YouTube video. You're welcome to go and view it. It was recorded on the 27th of December, titled Why Bitcoin Has Bottomed and the Path to $40,000 Bitcoin is set. At the time, Bitcoin was trading at $16,918, and I was able to utilize my knowledge on the timing cycles as well as a couple of other technical analysis chart patterns which seem to be playing out almost to perfection. And looking back in hindsight, this analysis was 100% correct. So now that we understand where we've come from, let's talk a little bit more about where we're going within this particular cycle. More specifically, focus on both Bitcoin and Ethereum as the two largest traded cryptocurrencies within the world. If we have a look at this chart over here, I've also lined out another way of how I identified the exact bottom, but also building on that where the exact top may be timing wise. Currently, we're looking at Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, and you'll notice how, again, history tends to rhyme. Bitcoin tends to follow these 4-year cycles, and the primary reason for this is that Bitcoin follows a very systematic and mathematical approach. What do I mean by that? Well, in order to get Bitcoin, miners need to solve very complex equations using computing power and high amounts of electricity. And consequently, for every 10 minutes that they solve these equations, they receive a certain amount of Bitcoin as a reward. Every 4 years, that reward gets divided exactly in two, meaning they produce more and more work because the equations become exponentially harder, but they're receiving half the mining reward for the next 4 years. Now, these 4-year cycles tend to drive Bitcoin's price towards the upside. And you can see that using this chart over here. Every single market cycle bottom that we've had took 47 months from bottom to bottom. It trades in a very systematic approach. Again, you can see over here, December 2018, the bottom was set on Bitcoin, and you fast forward 47 months, and now you have November 2022, which was the exact bottom. Now, what about looking forward for when the cycle tops would come into play? Well, you can see timing wise, 49 months. This one over here deviated ever so slightly. It was 46 months. And therefore, we can deduce that most likely the next market cycle top is probably going to be somewhere between that 46 and 49 month period, thus situated between August and November of 2025. Now, this should blow your mind, because when you compare that to what's going on in the 18.6 year cycle, you can see it pretty much lines up exactly with that end of 2025, beginning of 2026 mark. Now, why is this trade opportunity so urgent? Well, if you look at the Bitcoin halving countdown clock, you can see we're exactly 57 days, 13 hours, and 19 minutes away from that halving reward. Reminder, that is where the halving reward will take the current Bitcoin miners reward from 6.25 Bitcoin down to 3.125 Bitcoin, meaning you're getting much, much less. Now, historically, what we've seen when we outline by the vertical lines over here, the halving date, we've noticed that price tends to pause or potentially even pull back, selling off into that exact date. Now, this time things are looking a little bit different in the sense that prices are continuing to rally towards the upside. And that means that you have very, very limited time to make your next major move. The reason why I suggest this is because Bitcoin tends to move first, followed by the rest of the cryptocurrencies, and we're lining up for what could be the very first crypto super cycle that we've ever seen. So now that we've covered that, we have a couple of catalysts to consider. The first catalyst we already said was the Bitcoin halving cycle. A catalyst that occurred before this was the spot Bitcoin ETF, which absolutely sent price ripping from $25,000 to $52,000. Now we know that Ethereum is also in the works for a potential spot ETF, but that's not the next catalyst. The next catalyst is the Ethereum Denken upgrade, which is targeted to occur on the 13th of March, very, very soon. If Bitcoin manages to hold up without having a pre-halving cycle dump, then ultimately this may send Ethereum soaring to completely new heights, and that will take the rest of the cryptocurrency market cap with it. The next potential catalyst is, of course, the ETF. So if the Denken upgrade is not enough in combination with the Bitcoin halving cycle to send prices higher, then maybe the Ethereum spot ETF, which is currently set to occur later in May as the final deadline, that may be the next driving factor for prices to go higher. And we're already starting to see things react. If you have a look at this chart over here, which is the ETH-BTC ratio, ultimately it shows you how is Ethereum performing relative to Bitcoin and how is Bitcoin performing relative to Ethereum. You can see that the ETH-BTC chart has been ranging for a prolonged period of time. The white lines over here at 0.0829 represent the range high. Ultimately, that is a resistance area and capped price towards the upside. And then price consolidated, getting sent all the way down with this long-term downtrend. But now it swept those range lows. You can look back from July of 2022, we swept the range lows and ETH-BTC broke back into the range. Simply put, what this chart ultimately means is if this chart is moving towards the upside, it means that Ethereum is moving up much quicker than what Bitcoin is. If this is moving towards the downside, it means that either Ethereum is moving down quicker than Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is moving up a lot quicker than what Ethereum is. Now we've seen for the very first time in a long time a notable change and shift within this market. You have the ETH-BTC chart showing a reaccumulation range over here, which simply means that buyers are starting to step back in and buy more Ethereum than what they are buying Bitcoin. You've then reclaimed a very key level, temporarily lost it, but bulls fought back, buying Ethereum back up much more aggressively than Bitcoin, and now it's reclaimed this key level at 0.055789. Now that is significant because this has the propensity to propel the rest of the cryptocurrency market up to completely new heights. And for this reason alone, I've decided to open up a series of new trades as it currently stands. You can see on these positions, I'm up 534%, 1,166%, 34%, 637%, and 19%. And I'm currently still building some of these positions. And this is why time is of the essence. In order for you to understand and see the markets the way I do, please make sure you take the opportunity for the final 20% of those whale school spots which are still available. Use the link in the description below right now, sign up and start with us on Wednesday as we navigate what may just be the most important time for this cryptocurrency cycle. Now, why is this Ethereum trade so important? Well, we saw that the spot ETF sent Bitcoin again from $25,000 up to $52,000 in a very short amount of time. You need to also understand what's going on with the market cap. If you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, it's $1 trillion. Now that is a big number. If you look at Ethereum, it's also a big number, but it's a lot smaller than the $1 trillion at $350 billion. It puts it at about 1/3 of the size of what the Bitcoin market cap is. Now, if the Ethereum spot ETF gets approved, the Denken upgrade goes well, and buyers continue to push the ETH-BTC price towards new heights, what do you think is going to happen to Ethereum as well as the rest of the different altcoins? That's right. They're going to absolutely fly to the moon, especially when you line this up as one big trade with what's going on in the 18.6 year cycle, as well as the halving effect and where we are within the cycle looking to push up over the next 12 to 18 months. Now, why is it that I'm so excited about what's about to happen within the cryptocurrency markets? Well, it's because I understand the history of how these market cycle works, and it's got a lot to do with the money flow phases. The money flow phases theory suggests that Bitcoin tends to always run first within the cycle, and once Bitcoin starts to break out and create new all-time highs, you expect an overlap to form where Ethereum starts to run pretty aggressively as well. Thereafter, Ethereum will enter into phase 2 of the money flow phase cycle, and it will completely outperform Bitcoin. Soon after that, you see the large caps running, and then you have full-blown altcoin season, which is where the real life-changing gains are made. Now, I have to emphasize once again, this is probably the most important time to be focused within the cryptocurrency markets, as if you get it wrong, you could lose everything. If you get it right, you literally stand the chance to make generational wealth and change everything for you and your family. Now, in Whale School, I dive into this model, and this is super important for you to understand. This is why it's so critical to understand where we are within the cycle so that you know how to diversify your portfolio and when to start buying those altcoins. This is a model that I created whereby you look at the way that Bitcoin price is moving and you determine should you be in the accumulation phase where you concentrated in your portfolio, or should you start to diversify your portfolio into multiple different coins, because we're about to go into the expansive run-up phase. I provide you with a massive tool set which you can use to determine which part of that cycle you're in, so you know by yourself, without watching any other YouTuber or going to follow any other Twitter account, you yourself sitting there on your own know exactly what to do and when to do it. So just to simplify exactly what I'm saying, so there's absolutely no confusion, we're in that point of the cryptocurrency cycle right now where you want to start to establish your longer term portfolio in a diversified fashion across a broad spectrum of different altcoins, because the altcoins is where the real life-changing money is made. We're talking about the 100 to 1000x gains, which you'll probably never ever see in your life again. So what you need to do, if there is even any spots left at the end of this video, is use the link in the description below, sign up to Whale School right now, share this with a friend, bring them along with you. We go live on Wednesday. I will be doing live cohort sessions where I'll take you through what's actually going on in the market right now. But most importantly, you already have the background knowledge from going through the pre-recorded course content, which will equip and train you to perfect this market cycle. If you're as excited to join Whale School as what I am to have you join Whale School, smash the like button below. Also subscribe to the channel, and then let me know in the comment section if there's anything that I missed which you think is important to know for the next couple of months. I will see you all in Whale School.